Okay, in this video we're going to talk about the Lifepack integration with EMS charts for ALS providers. So as you can see, we have a patient hooked up right now. They are on a 4 lead. We just completed a 12 lead. They are on SpO2 as well as ETCO2 and the blood pressure cuff. When you have a patient on side stream capnography, it's also measuring their respirations, and that will be included in EMS charts for you as well. As an ALS provider, if you press event and choose something like, for example, IV access, it will mark in the time. I think that shows you a little bit better. It marks in the time, so when you are configuring your chart, you're able to make any necessary changes and everything's documented. So if we were to give, say, atropine, it's documented right there. Once you're at the hospital and you're going to transmit to the EMS charts, you're simply going to press transmit. Report is going to say all, site, scrolling down the EMS charts, and then go ahead and hit send. If the monitor is turned off, you can go into archives just like you normally would, and you can choose the patient record and then transmit at the end of the call if you need to. So once you get to the hospital, you're going to go ahead and hit this. After it transmits, you're going to go inside, get all your necessary signatures, and then you're going to go ahead and upload and delete from the iPad just like you normally would. The next video, or the next cut, will be the computer showing you how to actually do the import. As you already know, you can go into your blood pressure, choose your interval, and do every 5 minutes if you like. That's going to keep track of that for you. One less thing that you have to do. After it's done, it's going to print out just like it would if you were sending a 12 lead to medical control, saying that it was completed successfully. We're going to switch this off and go to the computer. All right, once you get into the EMS room, after you uploaded your PCR, just like you normally would, go into patient records, choose the PCR that you're working on, start at page 1, fill out the PCR like you normally would. Once you get down to page 8, where your vitals should be, you're going to go ahead and choose EKG import. These are all of the imports that were done today. Anything that's grade was already imported in another PCR. It doesn't matter if it was 80, 18, or 16 that uploaded. They're all going to show up here. So the darker black means that it hasn't been uploaded yet. So we're going to click on the latest one. Once you click on it, it gives you a little preview of all the things that it's taken, the blood pressures. It says I got an IV access, I gave atropine. Once you press these events, it takes a little snapshot of what the current vitals are, minus the blood pressure, unless you manually do it. It also takes a snapshot of the EKG, so if you're giving the atropine, it's going to actually take, I think, a 6-second strip of the 4 lead right there. So we're just going to go ahead and choose import. All of your vitals are going to be coming in here, including the initial rhythm of the 4 lead. So at this time, you can go ahead and, let's say for IV access, click on add action. It says initiate IV. Go ahead and choose save. Who did it? Where did you get it? Where did you do the IV? Let's just say right AC. I did 18 gauge. Response improved. If there was any complications, I'd do it right here. And then I'm going to hit submit. It says that there's a procedure match already. Catheterization of a vein. I'm just going to hit submit. And then what that does, it says what IV was, what gauge the IV was, who did it, etc. Same thing with atropine. Click on add action. We gave a medication. Hit save. Who gave the medication? What was the medication? How much did you give? How did you give it? Etc. then we're going to hit submit, or any response. So we'll say improved. If you go ahead and click on page 9, it shows you all the attached files that is going to be on this chart that you imported. So for example, when we gave atropine, you can actually click on it, and you can see that we gave atropine. This is the current vitals of the patient, etc., and the time that you gave the medication. Your 12 lead is in here. And all the rest of your stuff. Continuous EKG. Anytime that we did any events, they're all saved. So here's the IV access, here's the atropine, and then here's your initial rhythm. Here is your trend of all your vitals. The other thing is in activity log, where it says respirations. Your respirations are now actually filled correctly thanks to the capnography. That is it. Complete the chart as you normally would.